We begin with the latest in Washington. House Democrats have introduced a resolution to impeach President Trump for a second time. And it sets up a vote this week, unless Vice President Mike Pence uses his constitutional authority to remove the president. But that's unlikely. A majority of members in the Democratic-controlled House have signed on to the resolution, charging Trump with inciting the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th. It seeks to both remove him from the presidency and prevent him from ever holding office again. And we're joined right now by Bloomberg congressional reporter Billy House. Billy, thank you for being here. Can you give us a quick sense of what's happening on the Hill right now? Have more people returned? And is there a heightened sense of security?
Great. Yes, exactly. Today was a big day. House Democrats announced that they were going to push ahead with their move to vote tomorrow, and meaning lawmakers are coming back tomorrow, Tuesday, to Washington, on a bill to push the vice president to try to use the 25th Amendment to expedite removal of Trump from the presidency. That's probably not going to happen. So they've announced that on Wednesday they will, because Congress can do this on their own, move to impeach the president a second time.
Okay, Billy, finish this sentence for me. The bottom line of the one article resolution is
that by his actions, in his statements and his speeches prior to the riot at the Capitol, President Trump essentially incited the unrest that caused the officers' deaths and the injuries to the protesters and the damage to the U.S. Capitol.
Okay, now we know it's unlikely that Vice President Pence will go forth with removing President Trump using the 25th Amendment, but have we heard anything from the office of the Vice President in the past few days?
We have not, and neither have Senate Minority Leader Schumer or Speaker Pelosi, even though they've been calling. So we don't really know where Pence stands other than he's not responding, which kind of says that he's not going to. However, with this vote tomorrow night on the 25th Amendment, Democrats are going to have 24 hours to respond or they'll move forward with impeachment.
Okay, he has 24 hours to respond. Meanwhile, this is happening as there's a transition of power coming. And I got to wonder, what is the priority for the Democratic-controlled Congress? Is it to impeach President Trump or to successfully get President-elect Joe Biden into the White House, working on coronavirus, working on getting his nominees through?
Right. That's what they're juggling. The more narrow Democratic majority in the House under Pelosi, but the new, what will be a Democratic slightly controlled Senate has to decide whether they essentially want to step on the new President Biden's first 100 days in his agenda. Impeachment trial certainly would do that. And so they're weighing the balance between, do we punish this president just because he committed these things in the last 10 days? We shouldn't allow him to get off scot-free.
And this is likely why a lot of Democrats are asking House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to push back any kind of resolution. Is that true?
Well, there have been some more moderate Democrats who have suggested that. But by and large, there's 220 Democratic names on the impeachment resolution, which indicates this party wants to impeach the president.
Absolutely. And so a little bit more on that process. The Senate right now is in recess. And so if a trial for the president would be put off until after the inauguration, what would be the statute of limitations on how long you could put that trial off?
They could kind of tuck that in their pockets, the Democrats, and hold it over Trump's head for, I believe, almost as long as they want to. But the talk has been that either they will do an emergency session. I mean, they can't do a trial to the 20th because they're out of session. And, of course, that dovetails with the inauguration. But they could push it off 100 days or so and let the new president make some achievements before being stepped on. But there's also there's talk about doing an emergency session and do it that way.
Okay. In the short time we have left, had there been a coordinated response planned from Republicans?
Just this second, I'm glad you asked. Kevin McCarthy has just sent out a memo to his members saying he's opposed to impeachment. Big surprise. But he does offer potential alternatives, including perhaps Trump's censure.
Okay, Billy House, thank you for catching us up on what's happening on the Hill.
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quick Take now for insight in an instant.